What's going on, Jerome? So now the Super Bowl is finally in the friggin' books. I don't care who won. No one's going to remember it. But J.J. McCarthy, the era has begun. Justin friggin' Jefferson, the best in the game. And, of course, now we got that chip on the shoulder, which absolute alpha, competitive, numero unos. You got McCarthy, you got Jefferson, cut from the same cloth. Things are going to go well. But ESPN, the worldwide bleeder of viewers and readers, they put out their first power rankings of 2025, post-Super Bowl edition, and the Vikings clocking in at numero 10. Oh, so Chiefs at 1. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like getting humbled in that spot, plus having a boatload of free agents. I don't know. Bills at 2. How are the Lions at 3? We'll get into this into a sec. Eagles at 4. I don't like the Eagles. Well, I don't like Sirianni. I don't like the fans. The team as a whole, I love. I mean, Howie Roseman, Howard, respect, major respect. But how are they behind the Lions? Anyways, you got the Ravens at 5, Commies at 6, respect. Packers at 7, sure. The Chargers at 8, you got the Bengals at 9, and then you got the Vikings clocking at 10. I'm surprised that the Bears aren't 9. I had the Vikings too. For the Vikings, 2024 record 14-3. Seems pretty good. Describe this offseason 3 words: sign free agents. The Vikings' poor draft performance over the past few seasons have left them few internal options as they evaluate a rooster of nearly 24 impending free agents. And with a projected 4 picks in 2025 draft, general manager adofo-mensah will dip heavily into the market to fill his rooster. Some of the approach will depend on whether the Vikings spend the money to re-sign Sam Darnold. They will not. Or if they will move forward with J.J. McCarthy. Yes, they will. Regardless of their cap situation, the Vikings will need an influx of free agents. Yes. And, I mean, people sleep on the fact that the Vikings had probably the best free agent class in NFL history last season with Grenard, AVG, Cashman outside. How about that? Gilly, Shaq Griffin, obviously Darnold, and Aaron Jones. So I feel like the Vikings, and also they did that with around $39 million in cap space. The Vikings have around $60 million in cap space this time around, and I think that they're going to be super dangerous. And also, they saw what the Eagles did. I think that they will spend up in the right spots, right? So the Vikings clocking in at 10. So ahead of the Texans, yes. Rams 12. I understand the Rams because who actually knows if Stafford is going to be back? I think that they're headed for a divorce there. Obviously getting rid of Cooper Kupp as well. So I understand. The Niners at 13. I mean, Brock Purdy's going to get paid, and that's going to make an impact there. Plus, do they trade Debo? What happens with McCaffrey? I don't know, long story longer. Yeah. But I do have problems with inside the top 10. Like, listen to the Packers at 7. I mean, they got so many issues, especially at receiver. Also, they're questioning if Jordan Love is going to be the guy. But, okay. Commies at 6. I respect that. Plus, they have a ton of cap space, and, obviously – getting some help for Jaden Daniels. I mean, imagine if T. Higgins lands in D.C. and then you got Scary Terry as a wide receiver too. I mean, baby, that's a wild world. But, I mean, the Eagles basically running back with everyone outside of a couple of free agents like Milton Williams and Mekhi Becton, Vikings, by the way. So I don't know how they're behind the Lions because the Lions, they basically lost the brain trust. And I think that Dan Campbell is going to get exposed without Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, right? And also the influx of some of the large contracts that eventually is going to put some pressure on the salary cap. So I don't know. Do you truly trust Jared Goff in a big time spot? I mean, that's why Sean McVay got rid of him, because they saw in a Super Bowl against the Flores defense, by the way, that when you need him to win you a game, Jared Goff is not the guy. It's kind of like how the Vikings discovered that with Sam Darnold this year. But Lions at 3, ridiculous. And frankly, the Chiefs at 1. So I'm not always like, hey, you won the Super Bowl, you should start the season at 1. But also, if you want to be the boss, you got to beat the boss, right? I don't understand how the Eagles are 4. And again, this comes from someone who despises the Eagles because the Eagles' rooster is pretty much intact. So... And also, Fangio ain't going anywhere, and he's the real driver of Sirianni. Kellen Moore can be replaced, but I don't know. How are the Bills at 2? Anyways, a little bit ridiculous up there in the top 5. Also, the Packers obviously being there. The Chargers, yeah, I respect the Chargers. I respect the Bengals, but are they more complete than the Vikings? You could definitely make an argument there. So should the Vikings be like 8-ish, 9-ish? somewhere in there. Definitely should be above the Packers. That's pretty obvious. And also, how are the Lions so high? Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But it's okay. Doesn't matter where you start, matter where it ends. And just watching that stupid Super Bowl and seeing how happy Eagles fans were and how happy the Eagles players were, just like, I want that. I just want that, right? And not even just for me, even though it's always about me. Just the hardcore long-term fans. Harrison Smith is back for another season. Just the Justin Jefferson, just the players who would put everything on the line for this team. Kevin O'Connell, proving that you don't have to be an a-hole to win. Yeah. Also for Vikings fans who have passed on, like my dad, my grandpa, like how they would have imagined or how they would have reacted to the Vikings actually winning a Super Bowl. And they were alive for the 4 Super Bowl losses, man. I don't know, but either way, man, that got really deep. ESPN Power Rankings are that deep, man. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts of Vikings clock in at number 10, ESPN's initial 2025 Power Rankings. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best to do. Skull production value.